So computers away, notes out. But we're gonna start 6.2 today, and we're gonna talk about the interior angles of polygons. Okay, you'll need to make sure you write these down because there's going to be a couple different equations that we are going to talk about in order to solve, and then we'll do a couple example problems as well. I don't have one. See if someone else maybe can share a pencil today. Okay, so before we begin, all right, let's review the names that we talked about yesterday. Okay, what was a three-sided polygon? Four-sided? Five? Pentagon? All right, we should be naming the shapes, not doing different conversations. Six? Seven? No. Heptagon? Heptagon? Eight? Nine? Non-agon? 10? What do we do for 11? 11 gone. And what about 12? Dodecagon. Then anything above, we just put dash gone. Yeah. So today, okay, we're going to be talking about the interior angles. So let's say, all right, guys, come on, let's listen. Let's say we have this hexagon right here, okay? And I want to find the interior angles. So I want to find the value of all the angles inside of a hexagon. Now, here's the equation that we are going to use. It is going to be a parentheses n minus 2 times 180. Okay? N is going to be the number of sides. So, if I have a hexagon, how many sides do we say a hexagon has? It has 6. So, when we plug this into the equation, it's going to be 6 minus 2 times 180. Now, what is 6 times 2? Or not times, I'm sorry. What's 6 minus 2? 4. Okay, and then we do 4 times 180. So you're going to need your calculator because maybe some of these you can figure out what it multiplies as. But who can tell me what 4 times 180 is? 720, perfect. So when you answer, it's going to be 720 degrees. Okay? We are finding all the interior angles. Okay? This is to find the interior angles of a polygon. Memorize what? Yeah, I mean, just think it's just going to end up adding 180 each time. Now, here's the thing on how we get this, okay? What polygon adds up, or the interior angles equal 180? A triangle, okay? So what's happening with this hexagon? Okay, so it's not 2 triangles. It's going to be 4 triangles. So if you pick one side, all right, you're going to go to, or like one point, like the vertex, the corner, you're going to go to all the other corners that you can, all right? And you notice how we just created 4 triangles? So each of those triangles, the interior angles are 180, okay? And that's going to all add up to equal 720. So that's happening on all of these polygons when we do this. Is if you have a question that asks how many triangles are in the polygon or how many diagonals, all that is just n minus 2. the sides minus 2. Okay? So it's just creating a bunch of triangles on the inside, and that's telling us how we can find those angles. Okay? Do we see how that works? Okay, let's look at some examples. Let's look at number 1 right here. It says, what is the sum of the interior angles of a 22-gon? Now, who can tell me what's the equation? Yeah, we're going to put it in the equation of n minus 2 times 180. So our n is the amount of sides, and that's going to be 22 minus 2 times 180. So what's 22 minus 2? And what is 20 times 180? 3,600. And that's our answer. Now look at number 4. This says, using diagonals from a common vertex, how many triangles could be formed from the polygon pictured below? All right, how many sides does this polygon have? 8. If it has 8, what's the name of it? Okay, it's an octagon. Now, if it has 8 sides, how do I figure out how many triangles? It only has 7? Then it's not an octagon. I didn't count. I just trusted you guys. No, it's not a septagon. It's a heptagon. So it has 7 sides. How do I figure out how many triangles? Yeah, it's just n minus 2. 7 minus 2. Do numbers 2 and 5.
That means it's 720. I get that E3 number. I get It's just 15. It's the number. It's 2,700, but the answer is 15. Yeah. What's 14? Hannah is asking how many triangles can we form. 15.
Let me figure that out later after this. And I'll be able to help you. We're doing just 2 and 5. By counting? More with this. But this is too easy. Okay. Alright, let's come back together. Number 2. How many sides does this polygon have? Okay, this has 6. We just did this one earlier. So I need to do 6 minus 2 times 180. And what's 4 times 180? Perfect. Now, number 5. It says we need to find how many triangles of a 17-gon. So what do? 17 minus 2. And what is that? Now, let's look at 3 and 6. Okay? Number 3, let's look at let's look at number 6 first. It says, what is the measure of each interior angle of the regular polygon below? So we're not finding the sum this time. We need to find each angle. It's a regular. What does it mean when we have a regular polygon? It's both equilateral and equiangular. Now, how many sides does this shape have? This one has 7. So we need to find the total sum first. So I'm going to do 7 minus 2 times 180. And we have 5 times 180. Okay, and what is 5 times 180? 900. Okay, this is the total. We need to find each individual. So when we're finding each angle of a regular polygon, we're going to do just 900 divided by 7. So 900 divided by 7, and sometimes you'll get decimals. Round to the nearest tenth. 128.6 degrees. Up. That's all we wrote. It just asked how many triangles. Okay, do number 3 on your own. And remember, you're finding each angle. I know, but you need to show me how you got it. I know. I know, but you still got to show it. You got to get in the habit of it, because if you don't show any work next year, you ain't getting any points. All right, let's look at this one. What is the measure of each angle of a regular 18gon? How do I find the? Hey, you need to sit down. How do I find the sum of the angles? This is the total, and you gotta make sure you divide by 18. So what do we get for the answer? 160 degrees. Okay? Do we have any questions so far? I said any questions so far? Okay. Let's look at this one. Let's look at number 7. This says, what is the sum of 7 of the interior angles of a regular decagon? Now, we're going to be doing the same thing, okay, but adding one extra step. How many sides does a decagon have? 10. So, I need to do 10 minus 2 times 180. 205.7. Okay, so this is the total sum. Now, I need to find what each angle equals first. So, I need to do 140 divided by what? Divided by 10. Okay, yep, just wait. Okay, so I have 1,440 divided by 10, and what do I get? 144. This is each angle, but how many angles does it ask me to find? 7. So what do you think I need to do? 144 times 7. What do we get?
Why'd you have the 7 there?
Because it says, what is the sum of 7?
I thought that was a decimal 7.
No, times. What's 144 times 7?
1008.
Perfect. Okay. Do we have questions on that one? Okay, here's where it can get a little tricky. Let's look at number 8. Number 8 says, how many sides does a polygon have if the sum of the interior angles is 1,440? Okay.
10.
This time we have the total sum. Okay. So what equation do we normally use to find the total sum? We'll get there. N minus 2 times 180, okay? And that usually tells us how to find the sum. Well, this time we have the sum, so I'm going to, because usually this is going to equal x, and that's what we're solving for. This time I'm going to put 1,440 here. Okay? And then I'm going to solve from here. Now, I need to get n by itself. What do I need to do on the left side? I need to divide by 180 on both sides. Okay, because this is multiplying. So in order to get rid of the multiplying, I need to divide. So what is 1,440 divided by 180? It's 8. So then I have n minus 2 equals 8. And then all I have to do in order to get n is just add 2. So n equals 10. Now, when people do this, a lot of people forget to add 2. So a lot of people end up saying their answer is 8. Okay, so make sure you don't forget the adding 2. Now, you can always double check and make sure you're right by plugging it into the equation. Okay? And making sure you get 1,440. Okay, so you can double check your work on all of these. Now, let's look at number 9. Number 9 says, how many sides does a regular polygon have if each interior angle measures 179? Okay, this is going to be probably the toughest one. When we do this equation, it is going to be 179 degrees equals the sum of interior angles over the number of interior angles. Okay, so let's actually fill this part out. Now I'm going to keep my 179. Does anyone know what the sum of interior angles, what we would put for that? No, the sum of interior angles. What's the equation we use to find the sum of interior angles? Okay. What's the number of interior angles? What is that going to be represented by? It's going to be n, yeah, or x. But since we're already using n, we'll put n. Okay, and we will solve from here. How do I get rid of the n on the bottom? Multiply where? Yeah, I need to multiply both sides times n. So over here I have 179 n equals, what happens on the right side? The n's cancel out. So that leaves me with n minus 2 times 180. Now, on this one, if I divide 180, okay, it doesn't really do anything for us. So on this time, we're going to do the distributive property and distribute 180 times n and 180 times negative 2. Okay, so when we have 180 times n, what is that? Yeah, it's just 180 n. Then what's 180 times negative 2? Perfect. So now what do I do for my next one? My next step.
Get rid of the 180.
I subtract the 180n on both sides. Well, what's 170n minus 180n? Negative n, negative 360. And how do I get rid of the negative? So how many sides does this polygon have? It has 360 sides. Mm-hmm.
I agree with
So
Wasn't it
we can deal with a polygon with as many as 360 sides.
like how many angles? How many angles does it have to become a circle? Like
This would be the most.
360
Yeah, because,
circle.
well, it says each angle is 179, so that's almost 180. No, because then that's just a straight line. Okay. All right, do we have any questions? All right, you got to make sure you're writing notes with us. You done? Do numbers 10 and 11 on your own. Actually, yeah. Uh-huh. Do 10 and 11. Yeah, 10 and 11 on your own. It will. You just gotta make sure you're doing that homework. I know, I fixed the other stuff, so your grade did go up when I put those grades in. We just gotta make sure we're doing all of them for chapter 6. Half an angle? I don't know what you mean by that.
Well, when I did it, it came out as 10.58. Okay.
34?
Yeah, because I just.
You shouldn't get a decimal because you're finding how many sides.
Oh,
Yeah, that's what you're finding on both of these.
34. Wait, oh shoot, it's 36.
It's only first hour.
No, I know. My equation for 10 is like and I put a line
Over n. On 10, it's the last one we just did.
I have to go to Latin today, and I'm gonna like actually.
Because this is each interior angle.
Oh,
Yeah.
and then that's
So just have this put over n.
just this one. Just this one.
Yeah.
No, guys, I've lied. I wasn't there yesterday. Like, I don't know what we're doing. And she's gonna yell at me. The stripper's like me. She like and she's my house. I can't escape from her. Who did that? Why is it like that?
Because you're getting rid of the n on the bottom.
That's all I want.
So now the n's gone. And then now distribute. What? Because that's just in order to find it. Because you're fine that you have each individual angle, and we need to get it to how many sides.
So I got
Mm.
a decimal on this, and I don't because you get negative.
Oh no, this you don't do that on number 11. Number 11 is the total sum. So that's like what we did on number 8. Number 10 is like the last one we did, number 9. Number 8's like number 11.
For number 11, I did like because like they cancel out and like times 180 and then
Yeah, but it's not over n. We didn't put over n on number 8. We are dividing that 180. Yeah, when you set it up like this, oh, over n, you have that. Yep. Yeah, that's good. That's right.
No, I wasn't saying do it. And then I was like,
I just didn't use all the complicated stuff.
All right, it's fixed. Yeah, you should be good now. There should be. You were on scientific mode.
I don't even have a calculator.
All right, I'll give you 30 more seconds, and then we'll talk about these two.
Get most of the problem, like the start of it. For those, like could you like just like not do the n divided by n? Just the actual problem. With that one comment.
I don't really know exactly what you're saying. Like put it as 144n equals. I mean, you could, but I'm showing like what the actual equation is. Yeah, you just can't forget that n though.
Yeah, but then it's just always going to be minus 260 on this side. It's always going to be the same.
Yeah.
So then I just change this over here.
Yeah, you can do that. All right, let's talk about this. Number 10. All right, listen. Number 10 is asking how many sides does a regular polygon have if each interior angle measures 144? Okay? We're going to set it up like 144 equals, all right, n minus 2 times 180 over n. All right? I got to get rid of the n on the bottom, so what do I have to do? Times both sides by n. So I get 144 equals n minus 2 times 180. Now I got to distribute. Oops, I forgot the n here. 144n equals 180n minus 360. Now what do I do? Subtract the 180n. And what's 144n minus 180n? And now what do I do? And what do we get? Perfect. Now, biggest thing is on this, we're dealing with some negatives, okay? Can I ever have a negative amount of sides? No, your answers should never have a negative. They should never have a negative, okay? So make sure you never have a negative answer. Now, number 11, how do I set this one up?
n minus 2 times 180.
Perfect. We have the total sum. Now we need to find the amount of sides. Okay, this time I can divide by 180. I don't need to distribute. What's 2,700 divided by 180? What? 15, and I add 2. So how many sides is this polygon have? Perfect. Do we have any questions? Okay, I will give you the rest of the time to work on homework.